Let's invest in the Hispanic economy. Hi, I'm John McNeil, and this is the Invest Strong Network. Welcome. So, the goal of every investor is to invest in stocks in a sector of the economy that's growing, that is diverse, that is flourishing. Well, investing in Hispanic controlled stocks is one great way of doing that. Now, as most people know, the Hispanic portion of the American population is growing steadily, really has been for almost half a century now, and has really begun to pick up steam. Now, we have a new presidential administration. They are also much more uh, in line to support immigration and unifying of families, Hispanic families in the United States of America. And also, they're putting an emphasis on really cultivating and growing minority economies, that being Black economies, and also in the Hispanic community. Now, the Hispanic community in the United States of America is, of course, very diverse, right? So, I mean, here in Texas, Houston area, most of the Hispanic economy is made up of Mexican or even Chicano, which are, of course, American-born Hispanics. Also, have a very large Central American community: Honduran, Salvadoran, Guatemalan, things like that. Now, in other parts of the country, say Florida or even New York, that area, they have a much larger uh, Caribbean Hispanic population. So we're talking Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, but they'll also, of course, have persons of Mexican descent and Central American descent, and even, of course, a large Chicano population also. Now, in the West Coast, say California, even uh, Oregon, New Mexico, the Southwest, right? It's predominantly families of Mexican descent. Well, in any event, the Hispanic population writ large is growing rapidly, right? And they will continue to grow and become more prosperous, more successful. Now, the CV-19 pandemic has kind of put a bit of a dent in that. Many of the Hispanic workers certainly in the Houston area, and I think that's the case through most of the country. They worked in the hospitality industry, tourism, things like that, and of course, those areas of the economy have just been just walloped by the CV-19 pandemic. But looks like the pandemic may be going away soon, right, with the introduction of vaccines. So hopefully, once that is done, then the economy writ large, and certainly the Hispanic portion of the economy will rebound strongly. And when that happens, you can be situated in just the right location. All right. So let's talk some Hispanic stocks. Now, in this particular listing that I'll have today, we're talking mostly companies that are based in Puerto Rico, right? Now, Puerto Rico, of course, is a commonwealth of the United States of America, not exactly a state, but a territory, and thus is these are American stocks, right? That are a majority owned by American people, American citizens. So, first of all, let's talk about the largest of the uh, financial institutions in Puerto Rico. And of course, that's Banco Popular, ticker symbol BPOP. Now, based in San Juan, Puerto Rico, the share price is roughly $60 or so. Banco Popular has a $52 billion in total assets, making it by far the largest of the Puerto Rican banks in operation. Most of their operations are actually in the mainland, right? Florida, New York, areas like that. They also had some operations in Texas. Haven't really seen it very much in Texas recently, but they did at one point, be it before the great financial crisis of 2008, 2010. And Banco Popular has rebounded mightily since then. They were basically laid waste by the great economic crisis of 2008 to 2010, but they have rebounded. In fact, their share prices are striking all-time highs even after the second economic crisis caused by the CV-19 pandemic. And Banco Popular is yielding 2.65% on the dividend yield. Very attractive, right? So you get income and you get growth from the same stock. Hey, can't beat that, right? Now, in a similar vein, there is First Bancorp, ticker symbol FBP, and based out of Santurce, Puerto Rico. The shares trade hands at about $10 a share at this particular time. Also has a 2% dividend yield, has about $13 billion in total assets, and a market cap of 2.2 billion, right? So that's First Bancorp. All right. Another financial from San Juan, Puerto Rico to think about is OFG Bancorp, ticker symbol OFG. Again, based out of San Juan, Puerto Rico. Share price changing hands at about $20 a share at this point. Has about $10 billion of total assets, market cap of around $1 billion, with a dividend yield of about 1.4%. Not bad, right? And just like the previous two Puerto Rican-based banks, financial institutions, it was also just killed in the great financial crisis of 2008, 2010, but has rebounded markedly since then, and especially has rebounded markedly just recently, right? And most of their operations are in Puerto Rico itself, but they do have some branches in the mainland also, right? So that's OFG Bank. Okay, so there is another tech company, but in this instance, it's a fintech, financial technology company based out of Puerto Rico. Might want to definitely give some attention to, and that is EverTech, ticker symbol EVTC. Trading shares are trading hands at about $39 a share at this point. It has a market cap of 2.78 billion, a dividend yield of about 0.5%. Now, EverTech's in a crowded field, right? So we're talking Square, we're talking PayPal, we're talking Zelle, we're talking other fintech payments arrangements. So they're going to have to really duke it out to be successful in this particular category. But of all of the fintechs, all of them, they are the ones that focus on the Spanish-speaking population, right? They very, very specifically focus on the Hispanic population, and that will do them very, very well. Many of the Spanish speakers that I know, they prefer to do business with companies that speak the first language, right? And so I think EverTech will be just fine going forward, and they have an advantage that that some of the other fintechs do not have, right? All right. Now, let's come to the mainland, right? And there are a couple of mainland Hispanic-based companies or Hispanic-owned companies that you want to give some attention to. The first is Molina Healthcare, ticker symbol MOH. Molina Healthcare, based out of Long Beach, California. Share price around $220 a share. And market cap of 13 billion. Molina Healthcare runs health insurance. They provide health insurance, right? Health insurance plans. In fact, if you use the Obamacare marketplace here in Texas, anyway, Molina healthcare plans are quite ubiquitous on the marketplace, right? And so that obviously is a growing area of the economy, healthcare, and providing affordable plans for persons who are in the healthcare market. Okay, and then there is International Bank Corp, better known here in Texas as IBC Bank, right? Very, very popular here in the Houston area. Ticker symbol IBOC. They're actually based out of Laredo, Texas, right? Share prices change hands at about $42 a share, and they have a dividend yield of roughly 2.5%. Not bad at all. The company IBC has total assets of 12 billion and a market capitalization of 2.7 billion dollars. Right. So one last stock I want to toss in real quick, and it's also based out of Puerto Rico, and it is Triple S. Right. What is Triple S, you ask? Well, their ticker symbol is GTS. They trade hands at about $24 a share. Does not pay a dividend yield, at least not yet. It has a market cap of $565 million, so on the smallish side of the market cap arrangement. They provide healthcare plans, right? Very much like Molina, but much, much smaller. And in fact, most of the persons that are covered under their plans are actually in Puerto Rico itself. They have some operations on the mainland, but not a whole lot. And it's a very small company, right? But it is publicly traded, and you could include it in your index of Hispanic-owned companies if you would like. So those are some companies to really look at if you want to invest in the Hispanic economy. Yay! And in fact, how about this? If you had built an index of these companies over the last, say, decade or so, wow, you would have made out like a bandit, right? You would have basically doubled or even tripled the return of the overall stock market by owning these, right? Now, could they provide that kind of growth going forward? Well, that might be asking a little too much, but I think that they'll continue to grow, continue to do well going forward. And with most of these, you'll get a dividend payment out of them also, right? Can't beat that. All right. So hope you've found it interesting and informative. If so, smash that thumbs up button. I'd appreciate it, right? And also leave a comment. Maybe I missed something. I've been known to do that. Let me know. Leave a comment. I'll respond. I promise you. And of course, come on now. I mean, it's a new year, but it's the same old refrain. Subscribe. Please subscribe to Invest Strong. I'd appreciate it. Thank you so much, friends, and good blessings.